Lunge City today. Starting with the warm-up, easy warm-up, and then going into the meat of this practice, which is exploring 10 variations of lunges and then cooling down. Standing at the front of your mat, let's get ready. You can do it. You can make it. You can get through this. Do as best as you can, as much as you can. Breathe with intention in every pose and every movement that you do. You have to take your breath with you if you want to stay in it with me. Begin to bend your knees, place your hands on the mat, and step the right foot to the back in a low lunge. Back knee is down. Next, exhale, pick up that back knee. So your fingertips are in the mat or your palms are flattened. Set the back knee down. Pick up the back knee again on the exhale. Inhale, set it down. Do that at your own pace about 3 to 4 more times. Picking it up on the exhale, setting it down on the inhale. As you pick the back knee up and set it down, you're getting your hips used to lunges because we will be doing many lunges on each side. You want to get your hips and your thighs used to this. Make sure that front knee is above the front ankle as well. It's not pushing too far over. Eventually, left arm goes up to the ceiling and revolve your lunge as you pick up the back knee, set it down. So continue picking it up and setting it down, but the left arm is up this time. Getting used to the movements in your hips, picking that knee up, setting it down. Next time you set it down, both hands come up to the ceiling, low lunge, looking forward, heart opens. You're breathing deeply through your belly, shoulders relax. Hands set down, pick up the back knee, step forward into a slight halfway lift, or you can simply bend your knees, round your spine, roll up to a stand, hands up, inhale. Next exhale, bend your knees again, hands down. Bend them so much so you can step your left foot back into a low lunge this time. Back knee down, front ankle above the front, or I should say front knee directly above the front ankle. And go ahead and start picking up the back knee on the exhale, setting it down on the inhale, taking your time. You're not going at my pace, you're taking your time here. Make sure the hips are in alignment with each other, parallel to each other. If you ever feel like you need some padding for the back knee at any point during this practice, please pause the video and get a pillow or something that can help you. Right arm up to the ceiling, revolve your lunge as you continue picking it up, back knee that is, setting it down. Last time, set the knee down, both hands up to the ceiling in the low lunge. And then bring your hands down, slide the front foot to the back into a child's pose. Now, instead of child's pose, you can come into a tabletop, which means simply hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You can bring your forearms down in a tabletop. And this is instead of doing a child's pose, but if you'd like, go straight into your balasana. Hips towards the heels, balasana is child's pose. And stay here for a moment. Gather yourself, gather your focus. Slide yourself forward into an upward facing dog. Legs are in the mat, tops of the feet in the mat. Hands press into the mat. Shoulders roll back, heart lifts forward. While you're here, let me explain. We'll be going from down dog, lunge, into down dog and doing our transition until we go to the next lunge variation. Shoulders and your hips are settled in upward facing dog. You know what it feels like in your body. Your fingers are spread. Bend your knees and hike your hips up into an downward facing dog, making your upside down V. Your back is long, your arms are long. Bend your knees as much as you need. The balls of the feet are pressed firmly. Remember, your knees can bend as much as you need, and you can come to child's pose. You don't have to come into down dog. We'll use down dog as the home base pose, and we're going to use child's pose and upward facing dog as our transitional poses. Getting to the heart of the matter are the 10 lunge variations that we're about to enter. So your shoulders are relaxed, but they're firmly engaged. Be ready to step the right foot forward on your next exhale. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Set the back knee down or leave it up high. High lunge or low lunge, depending on what your back knee is doing. Front knee is above the front ankle. Easy first variation. Arms are long, fingers are spread. Hands flow down. Step the front foot to the back, down dog. Hips hike up. And remember, child's pose is always an option. Hands are pressing down. The center of the palm is slightly lifted to help you out. Next, exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Back knee sets down or leave it up high for a high lunge. Whenever you lunge, make sure the back heel is lifted up high as I'm doing here. Please watch me in every lunge variation if you need to. See what I'm doing first and then flow with me. Your rib cage is hugging in, it's not pushing out forward. It's like your torso is making a straight vertical line as much as it can. Hands flow down, back foot steps to the back, or front foot steps to the back, down dog. Inhale, roll yourself into an upward facing dog or tabletop position, doesn't matter. You may look forward, you may look up. Just make sure your heart is open and your shoulders are not squeezing your neck. From upward, flow right back to D dog. Variation number 2, step the right foot between the hands, back knee sets down, coming into a revolved prayer twist in lunge, but the bottom arm, which is the left arm, goes underneath the right thigh. And the right arm goes over the right thigh, and your palms make contact in prayer as I'm doing. Look into the right as much as you can. It's going to be a little awkward with the left shoulder, but the legs are long. If you really want to enter this in its fullness, pick up the back knee and maybe wiggle that left arm down a little more so you can bring your prayer more vertical or your elbows more in alignment vertically. Release your prayer, hands set down, float front to back into down dog. Hike those hips up high. Maybe the heels descend a little more. Maybe not. It's okay. Step the left foot between the hands, entering a revolved prayer on the left side. Right arm goes underneath the left thigh, and left arm goes overhead. Bringing your palms into prayer. Fingers are spread. Elbows somewhat stacked. Trying to make it into a vertical position, and it doesn't have to be. But your heart revolves over to the left. That's what's most important, and the back heel remains lifted high. Really, it's the toes and the balls of the toes of the back foot that press. Release your prayer, hands down, step the front foot to the back in down dog, and make your transitional flow. So for here, you may float into upward facing dog, tops of the toes press into your mat, or you can simply go down to child's pose for a break. You can stay there and go back to down dog, or just remain in child's pose until we enter variation number 3. From down dog or child's pose or tabletop position, step the right foot between the hands again, entering an extended lizard lunge. Hands to the inside of your front leg or elbows down, forearms down. Arms parallel to each other. Maybe your fingers can interlace, doesn't matter. Please make sure the back heel is lifted. Right foot may need to walk over to the right a little more to give yourself some space. If you want to up this challenge, you can place your right shoulder underneath your right thigh, stepping the right hand, that palm somewhere underneath or a little to the right of the right thigh. That's for those who can go a little extra while that left forearm presses. Releasing from this lunge on this side, stepping back into down dog on your next exhale. And when you are ready for the next exhale, that is, step the left foot between the hands, back knee down to situate yourself into extended lunge. Hands to the inside of that leg. Forearms are down if you want them to be. Arms are parallel to each other, whether the forearms are down or not. And if you want to ante up your challenge, pick up the back knee, of course, and place the left shoulder underneath the left thigh. Place the left hand somewhere over to the left underneath that thigh, so you can situate your arms and your palms, and you can really lower your hips down a little more. Release from your extended lunge and step back to down dog. Now, if stepping back with your hands to the ground is a little difficult, place your hands on blocks. Giving yourself some height makes it easier to step back to down dog. From there, roll yourself into upward facing dog, being smooth. Be very smooth with this. You can even do an upper back bend a little deeper in up dog. Flowing back to down dog, setting knees down for child's pose for those who need it. But let's keep going. Variation number 4, step the right foot between the hands, come up into an high lunge, back knee sets down if it needs to. Back heel is high, hands in prayer to the back of your head, which means elbows go up to the ceiling. They kind of close in towards the ears, but they don't make tight contact. Your prayer at the back of your head, really the base of the skull, is working the triceps right now, isn't it? Release your hands, step them down, front to back, down dog. Use down dog to reset yourself. Step the left foot between the hands, knee down if you need to prep. Hands come up, palms together, fingers spread. Make that prayer. Say your blessings. Bring the prayer to the back of the head. Maybe you can look up with a slight back bend. To avoid pushing your ribcage out too much, actively tighten your core. That back leg is so long, but it maintains your lunge. Release your prayer hands. Hands come down. Step the front foot to the back into down dog. Take your transitional period by rolling into upward facing dog. Maybe knees down and hips go back to child's pose if it needs to. Or you'll meet me right back up into down dog. You got this, you can do it, you can stay in it. If I'm flowing, you can too. Take breaks where you need to and step the right foot between the hands for the 5th variation. Everyone set the back knee down, back toes are flat, back leg is long. Right foot kind of turns out in a 45-degree angle, toes pointing up to the top right corner. So it the ankle slightly turns a little bit. Bring your left elbow on top of the right thigh, making a little curtsy move. That's why we turn the right ankle a little bit, for the right thigh to protect the knee. But the left elbow on top of the right thigh, you're slightly turning, but you're looking forward. So the torso slightly turns, but your gaze and your heart is still forward. Your right arm can come behind you, or it can just simply rest on the hip. This lunge is a low lunge curtsy. Releasing from this curtsy lunge, hands down. Situate your legs so that you can step up into down dog. Wiggle it out, shake it out if you need to. Maybe roll your feet side to side, stepping into your down dog if you need to. And the next exhale, left foot steps between the hands. Everyone's back knee is down. Everyone's back toes are flat. Right elbow comes on top of the left thigh. Left ankle kind of turns outward so the toes face the top left corner just a little bit. And curtsy yourself as I'm doing here. You're gonna lean into the front knee a little bit, just a little bit, which means the front knee kind of goes over maybe an inch, just a little bit, over the front ankle. It's not going to be directly on top. You're leaning into the front leg just a little bit. And as you lean, this is going to engage the outer thigh. hands down, situating your feet, your legs so that you can step up into down dog or child's pose. Your arms are actively engaged. Your core is holding you up. Take your transitional flow, and I'll meet you back in down dog. Let's add an extra layer of challenge to our down dog. From DD, lift the right leg up to the ceiling, extend it up high, toes point as best as they can. Left heel does not have to touch the ground. Next exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Legs are long. Keep the shape of the legs as you pivot yourself to the left. So you're still in lunge, toes pivot, knees pivot, body pivots. This is a side lunge on the right leg. So the left leg is very long, toes pointing to the left. And your hands can come into a fist, maybe in prayer, lifting the torso up, or your fingers to stay on the ground, maybe on blocks if you need some assistance for this side lunge. Pivot yourself back to the front, coming into a regular lunge. Hands down, step the front foot to the back, down dog. Hands on blocks if you need to support yourself to go back to down dog. Some of us have shorter arms, so some of us definitely do need support. I know from time to time I need to have my hands on blocks. Left leg up to the ceiling again, extending in your three-legged dog. Next exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Pivot to the right, side lunge. Left leg is really working, isn't it? Bringing your hands in prayer to your third eye is also another option. If you have to access your spiritual dimensions in order to make it through this flow, do what you got to do. Hands come down, pivot yourself back center. Your hips are very loose and fluid now. Hands are down, step front foot to back into down dog. And take your time through your transitional period as we move into variation number 7. Your upward facing dog, flowing back into DD, maybe child's pose. Take your time and please use your breath. You must be in tandem with your breath. Right leg extends up to the ceiling. Point your toes. Left heel does not have to descend. Next exhale, whenever that is for you, step the right foot between the hands. Back knee down starting off, and use a block for the left hand here if you need it. Lift the right heel, set the right arm on top of the right thigh so that you can have some leverage. Set a left hand on top of the block to its highest height. For some of us, we may need it at the medium, maybe the lower. Right arm from here goes up to the ceiling, and you're going to do a lunge with a slight side bend. So your right arm is up and your left hand is down over to the side. If you want to make this a little more challenging, pick up that back knee so the ball of the back foot is pressing firmly, toes pressing into the mat, not the top of the toes, but the bottom of that foot. Heel is still lifted and you are working it out. Remove from your side bend and float back into a down dog. Stay here. Breathe into yourself, into your willpower. Lift the left leg up to the ceiling. Right heel, it can descend to the ground if you really want to stretch the back of that leg. Step the left foot between the hands. Back knee is down, leg is long. Right fingers or the hand comes somewhere to the side, to the right side, off the mat probably, on a block if it needs to. Left arm on the left thigh, reach your left arm up from there, reach up to the ceiling, and with your right hand over to the side, probably the fingertips are down on the block or not, you're slightly side bending. It's a slight side bend. So the left thigh is staying in this place. The right leg is staying in this place. It's really the torso that's doing most of the movement here while your hips still descend. That's the point of lunges. You want your hips to go down as much as they can to the ground, because from a lunge, you'll make it into a split. Hands down, release from the side bend, and step up into down dog again. For For the next transitional period, you do not have to do upward facing dog. You don't have to do child's pose. If you like, you can remain in down dog and continue to sit in stillness there. You can find another pose where you can find stillness. You can even get some water if you need it, because I'm pretty sure by now you may need it. From down dog, let's continue. Right leg lifts up to the ceiling. Take an inhale. Next exhale, belly button pushes towards your spine. Step the right foot between the hands. Pivot yourself to the left this time, still in lunge position, turning into a side lunge. But this time, turn the right toes so that the toes face the front of the mat. Lift the right heel. Set the left hand to the ground. Left leg is very long. The left foot presses firmly into the ground. Right arm up to the ceiling, stack your shoulders, and revolve your torso to the right a little bit, but look down. Look down. Please look down. You can look sideways if you want, but this may strain the shoulders a little bit, so it's best to look down. Hand down, right heel down. Turn yourself so that you are facing the front of the mat in lunge. Step the foot back into down dog and breathe. Ooh. Left leg reaches up to the ceiling this time. And next exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Pivot yourself to the right, and the left toes will face the front of the mat. So turn the left ankle, and this means the feet are making 90-degree angle. Even though the feet are very much separated in the side lunge, it's still making 90-degree shape. So the right toes are facing the right, left toes are facing the front. Right hand down, left arm up. Try to stack your shoulders. Try to get them above each other. But look down so that you don't strain the neck, you don't strain the bottom arm, and no veins are being overstretched and the joints are not coming out of place. This is resetting your hips. This series, actually, this Lunge City series is really giving your hips some space and the spine some movement. Both hands down, pivot yourself to the front, step the front foot to the back. Take a breath in this down dog and make your way through your transition period, going into the 9th variation. Once you're back in down dog, take a breather here. You may rest your knees down if you'd like and come right back up. Make sure you don't lose your momentum for the final 2 variations. From down dog, lift your right leg up to the ceiling with a deep inhale, belly button to the spine, and on the exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Let's come back into the curtsy lunge, which means walk that right foot over maybe to the left, just maybe an inch. If for some of us you need to. Turn the right foot outward so that the toes face the top right corner. Bring the left elbow on top of the right thigh, and back toes are flat. The shin, that back shin is flat. Now, to make this even more challenging for the 9th variation, some of us will press the back toes into the mat, the ball of the foot, and pick the back knee up. This is going to bring you into a very deep curtsy lunge. Please watch that front knee. You may need to move forward just a little bit. For those who are bendy in the joint, who have healthy, very, very healthy and movable joints, please make sure that that front knee is safe. Release, taking your time coming out of this and moving into down dog. Left leg lifts up high, extended. And next exhale, step that foot between the hands. Back knee down so you can situate yourself. Back shin down, back toes down. Right elbow on top of the left thigh. Turning the left ankle outward just a little bit. Of course, not too much. Front knee, maybe it goes a micro inch or 2 over the front ankle, in front of it just a little bit. And to challenge yourself even more, look forward, look down diagonally, and pick up the back knee by stepping the back toes into the mat. It's a deep, deep lunge here because it's a curtsy lunge. As you stay here, both arms are on the front thigh, like you're folding them, like you're thinking. And when you're ready, release from curtsy lunge, hands down, situate the knees and the ankles, and step up into down dog again. And prepare for your last variation, taking yourself through your transition, through whatever pose you want to do to transition into the final variation. And if this final variation is a little bit too much, go to a previous one. Maybe go to a normal lunge. You can bring your prayer to the back of your head. You can do another curtsy lunge. You may maybe do another variation that you can think of, that you know of. But from down dog, right leg up to the sky. Next exhale, step the right leg through. Bring both hands to the inside of the front foot. Both forearms to the ground. Back knee down if you need to. Stay here in an extended lizard lunge, or right shoulder underneath the right thigh. Pick up the back knee. Step the back ball of the foot into the mat, and arms one by one spread out as if you're flying on a plane. And you really got to use your front thigh here. You must breathe into the front thigh, and the back ball of the foot is helping prop you up. Your core is also engaging with the arms to keep them outstretched. Breathe, breathe, and stay in it. You made it this far, and even if you're not doing a plain lunge, you can still make it this far. Releasing from this pose, step back to down dog, and let's enter the last lunge. Woo! Doesn't that sound good? Lift the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Back knee down. Extended lizard lunge, hands to the inside. Take your variation, or wiggle that left shoulder underneath the left thigh. Palms into the ground here, starting off. Pick up the back knee. One arm out to the side, preferably the left arm, the arm where the front knee is engaging in this lunge is the arm that you want to stretch out first. So left arm goes out to the left, and then right arm goes out to the right. Palms face down, fingers are spread, and you are in it. Ooh, release, knees down, release the arms from underneath the shoulder. Both knees underneath the hips, hands underneath your shoulders, and let's do some cat-cows because, damn, you did it. Wonderful work. On your inhale, arch the middle of your back like something's pressing down in the very center, looking up with your heart forward. On your exhales, round your spine, making a half circle, chin to chest, looking somewhere towards your knees, maybe your pelvis. Do this a few times on the inhales, going slow and really focusing on the exhales, matching the speed of both, and being determined to accomplish the feats that you thought you couldn't before this practice. Come to sit on your glutes, extend the legs out in front of you and give them a 1-2 shake if you need to. Set the left ankle from there on top of the right thigh, bend the right knee, stamping the foot into the mat, a figure 4 pose sitting, bringing your heart as close to your left leg by pressing the hands behind you. Arms may be extended long, maybe they bend at the elbows depending on how long our arms are. For me, my arms are a little long. My fingers are spread behind me, pressing firmly and confidently, and I'm walking my torso and my glutes as close to my right foot as I can to really stretch that left leg, the back of the left thigh and the side of it. Remain here stretching, or drop the right knee over to the right. Keep the left foot on top of that right thigh so that you look like you're coming into an Ardha Matsyendrasana, but maybe not. Hug that top knee, which is now the left knee, with the right arm. Grabbing the foot underneath you, which is the right foot, pulling it close to the left glute. And watch me if you need to. I just kept my figure 4 legs and I just dropped my stuff over to the right. That's all I did. And now I'm bringing my forehead on top of the right knee, giving my back a good stretch as well. Release the stretch, extend the right leg in front of you directly, and the left leg extends over to the side off the mat. You're somewhat making 90-degree angle with your thighs, and stretch over the left leg. Keep the legs in 90 degrees as best as they can. It doesn't have to be a full 90, and stretch over the left leg, folding. Bring yourself back up. Both legs meet in the middle. Bend the left knee. Set the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Figure 4, other side. Hands behind you to prop yourself up. Roll your shoulders back and extend your arms behind you. Press your palms into the ground. See how that feels. Some of us, again, may need to bend the elbows. And left side and right side of the body are always slightly uneven somewhere. Both sides are not perfect, so you're going to feel some kind of difference somewhere. Bring your heart as close to the right leg as you can. Walk the glutes as close to the front foot as you can, and then drop the legs over to the left if you like. From there, hug that top knee, which is now the right knee, with the left arm. Grab the left foot underneath you, pull it close to the right glute, and forehead can drop on top of the right knee. Slightly round the spine if you'd like. And this is a cool, confident, gentle stretch for the back. The spine has significant involvement in lunges and keeping yourself upright in movement, everyday functional movement. So that's why we release from this pose, extend the left foot forward and the right leg over to the side, extend it out, making a somewhat 90-degree angle with the inner thighs and folding over that right thigh. And we're folding because the spine needs it. The spine wants it. Come lay on your back. Feet can be flat, knees bent or not. You can extend your legs out in front of you and go straight into Shavasana. For those who need some spinal twists, with the feet planted, your back is flat, your arms are spread out wide. Drop your knees over to the left side. Right knee on top of the left, foot on top of foot, and you may extend both feet out to the side, straight out to the left wall. This is a twisted stomach pose. With your spine somewhat flat, the lower back will curve in with the hips so that your legs can extend over to the left. You may grab the top foot with the left hand, the bottom foot, bend that bottom knee, so that the heel can come close to the glutes, and you can grab that bottom foot with the right hand. If both shoulders cannot remain on the mat, try not to grab the foot or use straps. Release from that and just simply pick yourself up so that your knees drop over to the right side. Knee on top of knee, foot on top of foot. You can extend both feet over to the right fully so that your legs are in full extension. Twisted stomach pose. Your spine, the upper and the mid back is somewhat on the mat. Especially, well, the upper is, the mid back somewhat. The lower back is not on the mat because your legs are twisted over to the right. You can grab the top ankle, top foot, maybe the big toe. Bottom knee bend so that you can grab the bottom foot. Right hand to the left foot, left hand to the bottom foot. Or you can find another position that works for you, another twist. And spinal twists are wonderful when you're doing a lot of lunges, a lot of forward folds, or some back bends. to end our practice, you can go into Shavasana. You may go into a reclined butterfly, which is what I'm doing here, setting my feet together, bottoms of them coming together, and the knees are open wide, and I'm just resting. Arms are outstretched as well. Everything is flattened into the mat as best as possible. You may stretch your legs out in front of you. You may have your legs up a wall or on a chair, but your back is flat and your mind is at rest. The cardio level of this practice is now done and gone, and the restorative part is activated. If it just so happens that you fall asleep during the Shavasana, let it happen. If you decide to do a meditation and you want to drop away from your five senses, let it happen. Whatever you do, be calm. Whatever you choose to do for yourself at this moment, just find rest and know that you did it and you did well. And this is where I leave you. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe.